Welcome to part 4 of skimage tutorial. Let's continue from where we left in part 3, and we were talking about the bins. So our third bin here would be, all right, so here we are. Third bin would be it would have a width of 11 to 15 and so on. So what we have to see is what is the frequency of all the pixel values falling in each of these buckets, right? So here we actually see the frequency of the pixel values falling within each of the buckets, right? So whatever it could be here 10, here it could be 50, here it could be 100, and so on, right? And so you plot a graph which is not uh, on which the x-axis is not exact pixel values, but it is buckets of pixel values, right? So here the graph may not be as jagged as this one because here we are actually plotting the pixel value corresponding to its specific frequency. In this case, we'll be plotting the number of pixel values in a bucket and the frequency of the pixels falling in that bucket. So that could be another variant of the way um, histogram is plotted, right? So if you really want to play with it, we could possibly say here I have got a line of code which I'd commented earlier. Let's try to work with this and plot this. And let's see what it looks like. All right, so here you are. So what it has plotted is a graph which is more peaky rather than a small graph, right? So the bigger graph corresponds to the second variant that we plotted where the number of bins is just 50. Okay, so this was just for the understanding on histograms. Let's now move forward and try to look at another function from skimage. But before we do that, let me just fix this histogram so that we're not um, we have it printed in the right fashion. All right, so I think the best way will be for me to start again and just print all the stuff just once again. So I'm going to just run these lines of code just once again so that we have things under our control. Histogram appears the way you would like it to appear. Right now, let's move forward and look at another functionality which is pretty unique, very interesting. This is called threshold adaptive. Now let's again first run these lines of code so that we can appreciate what is it that we're talking about, then go back into the conceptual understanding of what is adaptive threshold. So let's understand where have we imported the adaptive threshold from. So threshold adaptive, this has been imported from skimage.filters out here. So let's go down and to threshold underscore adaptive, we're going to pass the image variable, which is basically the picture of the coins, rather the truncated picture of the coins, not the entire picture of the coins. And second argument, which is 95, corresponds to a certain area within that image. And when I draw a diagram to explain how threshold adaptive really works, we'll understand what this area corresponds to. And the third argument in threshold adaptive is offset. Again, we'll have to understand this with the help of a diagram. For the time being, just understand there are three arguments. We are taking these set values for them. And you could always experiment with some different set of values to get different results out of this. So let's run these lines and then we are going to basically do a axis.imshow, which is a function of matplotlib. We're going to print a gray picture of this one. So this color map is gray, as you see here, and we're going to give it a title, and we don't want any axis. This is because we're printing an image, and the axis don't make any sense. So here we go. Let's see what appears on axis 2. All right, so here you see this was the original picture here. What you see in adaptive threshold is just a black and white picture. So essentially, adaptive threshold is converting this picture into black and white. But the question is, which part of the image should become black and which part of the image should remain white? And the levers that we have in our hand is the area that we talked about and the offset that we have. So let me sort of stop the video here, and in the next part, we are going to look at the conceptual understanding of adaptive threshold, how it works, what are the mechanics behind it, and how it is used for creating this black and white image. So I'll stop the video here and join you back in the next part. Thank you.